Hello, folks. Richard Moore, United States Anti-Gang Stalking Association. Okay, think like I may have some issues with my lighting. Bear with me. I got a good one for us. Rest assured. Here we go. Maybe that's better. I'm still slightly under the weather with this COVID deal, hearing loss, all that good stuff. Earlier, I was recording. I wanted to pre-record this, but due to the harassment directed by the individuals I'm going to be talking about, we had all kind of technical difficulties, and so some of you may be trying to get in touch with me and tell me that something's wrong with my camera or what have you. Just keep in mind that the subject matter and the people I'm talking about do not, and I repeat, do not want you to get this story. And the story is about a missing person. This is about Jessica Stax in Union County, Mississippi. This is just a copy I made from of an article from the Tupelo Daily Journal, the newspaper. It's also NBC did an article on this as well. There's a reason the family doesn't have any answers or closure or leads or what have you. So I'm going to give you my take on this thing, folks, and it's not pretty. I can tell you that. There's a good reason why 9 months later that Jessica, we don't have any answers. I was just made aware of this today, by the way. Many of you know I'm currently involved in 3 federal lawsuits against corrupt law enforcement, 2 of which the sheriff of Union County, Jimmy Edwards, is named. Okay? And as I read these articles in these interviews, they're interviewing the sheriff, Jimmy Edwards, that is over his head in crimes against humanity and criminal culpability, including a murder for hire attempt against myself with an eyewitness, recorded and material evidence, everything to substantiate. What's been done about that? They won't even take a report. That's what's being done about it, okay? So I'll give you the backstory, but a little bit of the backstory. I'm going to go back and forth here where it makes sense. So anybody's watching, if you're not familiar with the Jessica Stax case, there is a page dedicated to a reward and so forth, any information, etc., as it pertains to that. Also, anybody that's watching that is remotely familiar with what I'm talking about, I encourage you to go ahead and contact other interested individuals and let them know what's going down right now. I don't think you're going to want to miss this. So, it's very, very disturbing, folks. this was printed on June the 9th. And so January the 1st, it says Stax and a male companion. I've got his name, and that's neither here nor there. That's public knowledge. But the local newspaper, male companion, they're keeping, I mean, they're just real hush-hush about a lot of things. On its face, remember, they're getting their information, their official information, from the Sheriff's Department. Now, the Daily Journal is a clear representation of fake news and a team player with corruption, especially in North Mississippi. I know this firsthand. I had an advertising publication in early 2000s, a direct mail publication. At all the national franchises, Papa John's, Pizza Hut, Chick-fil-A, oil change places, retailers, etc. And they were hemorrhaging advertisers to my publication. And it became overwhelming of the sabotage and the things that the Daily Journal and their crew, and they participate in organized community policing, gang stalking, citizens court, neighborhood watch, whatever you want to call it. They're a private contractor, they're state actors, and I eventually had to close that business, and it was very successful. Very successful. And it wasn't long before we had an identical publication being produced and distributed in North Mississippi by cheap old Daily Journal. Okay, so I have copies of that, and I have copies of my publication, which, by the way, when the sheriff of Lake County was running for sheriff, he had a full page in there. I got stiff for it. He was a deadbeat then, still is now. Never paid me. So we've got a long history with these corrupt good old boys and these people that go to the polls and continue to put these people in office. I'm quite sure Jessica Stax, her family, her friends and loved ones would like to know what's really going on. I'll tell you what's really going on here. Her male companion were in a tin boat on the Tallahatchie River. And they said they apparently planned. Now, I mean, they're interviewing one of the people. I mean, what the hell were y'all doing? We mean apparently playing. Were you fishing? Scuba diving? I mean, this is not rocket science, folks. The sheer evasiveness of this article is enough to irritate anybody. So let's see. Apparently floated downstream. He said it's unclear if that's what it said. Some people float downstream and to shoot hogs, wild hogs. It's unclear what they plan to do. So they still don't know. There's a reason. Now, they may have given a better explanation. Folks, let me tell you. It's unclear what they was planning on doing. It says Stax later got out of the boat, and authorities were notified about 10 p.m. that night after she failed to turn up. I don't know where she's supposed to turn up at. And so the guy that was in the boat, I guess he stayed in the boat and kept floating. She got out of the boat. About 50, now listen to this, about 50 people were originally searching for her. The number later dwindled to about a dozen. The searchers include 2 game wardens for Etowah County. Boy, I tell you what, that'll give you a real nice, comfortable feeling. You got 2 game wardens from Etowah County Mississippi that's in on helping on this. I mean, I what the qualifications is of a game warden, other than ride around all day and maybe write somebody a ticket for fishing without a license or something like that. What the hell they call them for? But anyway, they had them out there. Made it look official, I guess. And members of the Union County Search and Rescue, which is up at the EMA of Union County, they're also in a federal lawsuit. I have them included as it pertains against organized crimes against humanity. Okay? This is why they keep screwing with my service. I've already gone through this one time out here. It was filming the stalkers and harassment. And of course, they're always eavesdropping. What's he talking about? When we find out what I'm talking about, we have problems. So I said, okay, we'll do it a different way. So we're doing it a different way now. Union County Sheriff's Department, as well as Mississippi Highway Patrol helicopter. I wonder if this was a helicopter that this Union County man was supposedly shooting at and claimed they were poisoning his cattle and all this other kind of stuff. Which all that, the way the Daily Journal printed the article, made the guy look like he was crazy. But no, they used that helicopter to harass and stalk citizens is what they do. Okay? And they're real good at it. That's another case. Union County man shoots a helicopter. Just Google it, and you'll see the story there. Remember, there's always two sides to every story. Just read what the newspaper printed. And they're not going to take anything to make it look mysterious or lunatic in order to put law enforcement in a good light as doing their job, or they're doing the best they can. God forbid they ever publish or talk about the truth, what I'm talking about. And that makes me the bad guy. So be it. And a thermal imaging drone. Oh boy, isn't that fun? I'm surprised they were able to pull away from stalking me and other people with that damn drone to go look for somebody. They're too busy because crime pays, folks. Crime pays. And it takes national publication, national news to bring attention to put the limelight on Union County. Oh my goodness, we got this awful thing happening, thereby justifying the sheriff's department. We need more resources. We need more. And all these people. That's the reason all these people we bring in the forces and everything. Okay. Well, I beg to differ with that. It said authorities searched until around 3 a.m. January 2nd, and then resumed the search the next morning and into the night. And it tells what the search area included. Let me end it with this. The sheriff declined to identify the man she was with. Well, I mean, it's identified now. Which didn't make a damn lick of sense. Didn't make a lick of sense. But the man shooting into helicopters, they didn't waste some time identifying him, putting his mugshot on the front page of the newspaper, making him look like he's some crazy man. You didn't investigate. You didn't. None of those things. We'll never get the real story. I know what the real story is. And they know I know what the real story is. You'll never get the real story. Not in the media. But you're going to get it from me come hell or high water. And Jessica's not the first person, by the way. And she won't be the last. I'm going to give you some other ones as well, okay? This is good for business, for law enforcement. Yes, that's right. And law enforcement that's listening and watching, that's what they do full time. You know, I'm telling it like it is, and that's the way it is. It's good business for law enforcement. River, she hasn't been seen since leaving the boat. Her boots were later found. They had been cut off of her, the boots. Her coat and gloves were found near her boots. She didn't have her cell phone with her at the time she left the boat. It was later located and turned in. Well, what I read on that she had left it with someone where she could call them when they were through, where they could pick them up. And I'm like, well, okay. So is there such a thing as a person that's able to walk that does not have a cell phone? If there is, y'all let me know, okay? Because that's news to me. I've got friends that's got kids that can't even make a sentence, but they got a damn cell phone. But somebody else had her cell phone. I guess the guy, the unnamed person, which we know what his name is, I'm not going to call it, could call it. Look, this does not make any sense. So for those that are familiar with it, I'd like to know, is she on a pink t-shirt with a J on it? Somebody get back with me on that. Okay. According to what I've read, nobody knows what she was wearing. Maybe that's been since reported. So the guy with her boat, I can't remember, or folks, listen. It don't make no sense. And then, on the NBC thing, it said, well, they chased up the sheriff, Jimmy Edwards. We chased a bunch of dead end leads and all that kind of stuff. All right. So let me officially, when I hear that, is pull Jimmy Edwards' bullshit card. Okay? That's bullshit. We had a bunch of leads. We just never had anybody missing this long. A little over 3 years ago, I did an unannounced visit to a senior citizen couple in Chickasaw County, Mississippi. I asked them some questions and just to see if, on a hunch, if they had any problems as certain individuals there in Chickasaw County. I know I've had a bunch of them. In 2013, I sued them in federal court. We had a 2-day trial. I lost it. Thanks to the coroner, then coroner. He's recently resigned, but he just get a title change. Michael Fowler was caught breaking into my house and stealing notes and half of the things that I had prepared for trial. That was filed with the court, and that is on public record that I complained about it twice. Being I'm not an attorney, and it was kind of green at this whole deal that the attorney should be handling, but I was having to handle it. And on top of that, deal with the very people that were named in the lawsuit tampering with evidence. And guess what? They're still doing it. They're still doing it. And I was framed and set up by corrupt law enforcement in Monroe County, Mississippi, in Amory, Mississippi. It's taken me years to realize that their community watch and their holistic form of policing, that's where they've got the state actors, the private citizens, everybody doing their part. These individuals control sex trafficking, drug trafficking, murder for hire, and the list goes on and on and on. Law enforcement, this individual that's being interviewed about Jessica Stax runs the Union County Community Policing Organization that controls drug, sex, and human trafficking, period. Working hand in hand with the drug cartel to make sure that we always and will continue to have a drug problem. We wouldn't be able to just flood law enforcement with all this grant money and keep the machine fed and the wheel greased and the prisons full, build new ones, the courtrooms and the jails full, and everybody needs a job. And oh my God, so much is going on. Nobody's looking at what's really happening in plain sight. So, a perpetrator came to my house. I was aware that he was coming. He brought a person with him that I did not know. I was drugged instantly. I use a vape, and all that stuff has been put into containers, laboratory testing equipment. And so that was just sleight of hand. Prior to that, Sheriff Edwards is not happy about you having him in court. I had no clue that this individual knew anything about it. He didn't live around it. And as that, I'm letting that sink in. I'm not open for discussion to talk with anyone about what's going on with this case, but it was very concerning to me of why he thought it was important to deliver that message. What they didn't know is that Dr. Astra Stanwyck was monitoring my surveillance system and in real time watching the perpetrators come in and out of my house and trying to call me. I was rendered catatonic. I had been delivered a drug cocktail meant for death. Unconsensually. She can't reach me on the phone. She's recording and listening to what they're saying, talking about, we finished it, all this stuff. I have all the physical evidence, an eyewitness, recordings, everything of this murder gone wrong. Courtesy of the sheriff of Union County, Jimmy Edwards. Yes, the one they keep interviewing about Jessica Stax, the one that people are looking to. Do you know anything? In his department, you've got a blue wall of silence. Those that know that there's a fly in the ointment, well, they're good people. I go to church with. That don't mean a tinker's down. Because let me tell you what, folks, for them to step over and to get off narrative and tell the truth, they themselves become targets in their families, their career, everything. That's a wrap. That's a wrap. I agree. I agree that they need to grow a backbone instead of a wishbone. And somebody needs to come forward in law enforcement and say, hey, you're not getting the whole story here. Because I'm telling you what, folks, you're not getting the whole story. I've lived here for 6 years. Union County has done everything to destroy me. Why? Because they're running interference about Tilda and Fred Stevens. When I made that visit in Oklahoma and inquired about some individuals, Miss Stevens is the first time I'd ever met her. Started talking, and I was absolutely just stunned. Everything that she was telling me, she was telling my story. And I left with this. She wrote, I still have the piece of paper, her phone number and her husband's phone number. Please contact the FBI. We have got to report this. I'm in fear for our lives. I said, yes, ma'am, I will do it. I promise you. The next day, I contacted several times, did not get a call returned to Sheriff Jimmy Myers in Chickasaw County and the FBI field office in Oxford. Same story. A week and a half later, I got a phone call. So the Stevens case is this now. They're dead from a apparent murder-suicide. He murdered his wife, and he died from self-inflicted knife wounds to the stomach, of all places. A week and a half later, of confiding in me about what was going on that involved law enforcement in Chickasaw County that already knew, didn't have to sell me, already knew way more than a person should know and still be alive that's not on their team, and I'm not on their team. I started phone calls again because I saw what the news, the fake news, the Daily Journal had printed, what Channel 9 down here was talking about. I said, whoa, 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 whoa. I called Myers so many times. He had his dispatch call me. Said, Sheriff Myers said, if you quit calling him. I said, you tell that. I want you to, like, he wanted for him to call me. That could be my family, my mother and dad, your mother and dad. That's somebody. And he didn't want to talk to me. I had been in that house. They had given me critical information. I made numerous attempts before this happened in years. And that story that they told, just like the story they told about Jessica, has remained the same. So Jimmy Edwards and his clan of community pervert stalkers, emergency management, and these private citizens out here continuously stalk and harass. And I've got, when I, as a member of the media, a credentialed press media, and my constitutional protected speech of naming these criminals and putting them on blast, they've got the audacity to arrest me for stalking because those people feel in fear for their life. I don't know. When you get on somebody else's property and you kick the door off the hinges, and then I name your name and make it public, it's not my fault you're in fear for your life. Hell, I don't break into people's houses. But if I broke into somebody's house and I knew that they knew about it, I'd be scared too. But how does that make me the criminal? You have to ask Jimmy Johnson and Jimmy Edwards that. And Jim Myers. I guess you have to name got to be Jim to be a damn sheriff. I don't know what the deal is. All these damn Jims. So I'm hot. I'm glad they screwed with it. I tried this one time, and they've been hitting my Alpine Fire Department over here. Got my brand new hidden Wi-Fi system over here that got more shit going on with it than a Christmas turkey, screwing with my connections and stuff. Well, shut him up. I don't think they had tried, and they keep trying, but I'm going to tell you what. Good luck with all that. That's why I go public and talk about these things that are going on. Let me tell you why the person that came to my house to kill me is still walking the streets. Let me tell you why they can't solve these murders. Because it's people that work with them. They are protected. If they, and they make mistakes, and if they slip and they get caught at it, they're going to do everything they can to cover their ass. But at the end of the day, they won't. They're not going to get a good lead. Because, folks, let me tell you, if somebody manages to get a good lead on the person that committed this crime against Jessica Stax, I will guarantee you one thing. I'll guarantee you one thing. That lead will not come through local, state law enforcement at all. It'd be questionable whether the feds would it's again that blue and FBI are not choir boys, okay? I promise you. That's the deep state. Welcome to the deep state. But the perpetrator that's involved in this knows too much. He goes down, as much publicity as this has gotten, heads will roll. And Jimmy Edwards will be one of them. You can rest assured. You can rest assured. I submit to you, the family, and the public, why don't you do this? It's not admissible in court, so he shouldn't have a problem with it. Why don't you get the EMA director and the sheriff to agree to take a polygraph examination pertaining to Jessica Stax? I mean, if I'm crazy, I'm a lunatic, and while they would never lie or mislead anybody about it, they shouldn't have any problems submitting to a polygraph examination. I bet you any amount of money you want to put out there, they will not do it. Why? Well, it doesn't serve your purpose. No. Hold up a minute. It does now, because you've got somebody saying that you've got something to hide. Prove that you don't have anything to hide, Sheriff. Take a polygraph examination. I'll shut up. You'll never see me again if he passes it. But make sure it's a credible polygraph examination. Okay, you got to have some safety catches in there. Okay, if you don't think they can't tilt the deal, then you must not have been around this last presidential election. That deal was tilted. The deal can be tilted. Okay, I'm telling you. They're not going to agree to submit to a polygraph about what they do or do not know about Jessica Stax. If they don't agree, hello, why? I mean, even if it said, well, they were lying, you can't. I mean, it's already well known that they're liars anyway. And they still put them in office. Every person that voted and put Jimmy Edwards in office holds some responsibility in this crime I'm talking about right here. It'd be nice if media would quit calling the fox that's guarding the hen house about a damn crime, a horrible crime, that doesn't make any sense. You can't do nothing without these people, these community stalking perverts, knowing it. I was born and raised in a small town. Everybody knows what everybody's doing, who's screwing who, and what's their face cooked for supper, and how much so-and-so put in the offering plate. You have me to believe that with their thermal imaging drones, and helicopters, and Itawamba County game wars, what the hell? I wonder how many Masons they had out there looking. Let's talk about sex, drug, child, human trafficking in Union County, Mississippi, and North Mississippi, which is absolutely endorsed and green-lighted by law enforcement in North Mississippi. That is a fact. I've seen it with my own two eyes. I can absolutely establish what I just said as being an unmitigated fact. I think the family of Jessica Stax deserves the truth. Will they get it? This is about as close, I believe, they'll ever come to it. This is about as close as you're going to get, folks. About as close as you get. The people involved that we pay our tax dollars to, that we expect, that have the expertise. They bought a cadaver dog from Huntsville, Alabama. We did it all. That's pomp and circumstance. That's pomp and circumstance. They knew before they called a man with a damn dog down there that the damn dog wouldn't find anything. Okay? Why do you call Nostradamus and get somebody out there with a widget board or a dowsing rod and just pull all the stops on your hocus pocus crap? I've documented this crap that these guys, they sit there and look you straight in the eye and be talking out of both sides of their mouth and their ass at the same time. The fire chief, the sheriff. That's what they do. This is if we don't have crimes that have especially high publicity things and deals go wrong, when you have a large group of private citizens that have been green lighted to sex traffic, drug traffic, and commit crimes. And they are told, I've got perpetrators I will put on the stand. The sheriff told them, you can do anything you want to him or his property. When he calls us, if he's able, we're not going to do anything about it. Yes, you heard it right. And I've got more than one person that'll testify to that. And they know it. They won't screw with my connections. Y'all keep up with that. Because every time I get a hangnail, I'll make sure that I do everything within my power to expose these rotten criminals with badges that took an oath. Some of them even put their hand on a Bible they've never read and swore to a God they don't believe in to protect the Constitution they think is toilet paper. And they ride around with protect and serve on the side of their car. Little do we know. We want to protect our youth and our children from drugs and all that. Bullshit. When you're providing it to these addicts and then all grouping up, I've got them, filmed them doing it and committing crimes against other citizens. But you don't want drugs in your community. What if it was drugs and crime in the community? These assholes they couldn't get a job anywhere else. Most of them wouldn't work in a pie factory. And most of them look like they've been working in a damn pie factory and been doing more tasting than packaging. That's what we're dealing with. So for those that are involved in the Jessica Stax situation, I want to make it real clear. You communicating with these individuals and law enforcement that I don't care how damn many people have co-signed or how good and solid and everything else they are. I told you what I'm telling you. There happened. There's people that know there's some flies in the ointment. And I'm telling you what, folks, it's a shit pot. And I've got a big stick. I'm gonna stir it. I'm going to stir it. And they know I'm going to. I'm going to stir this one. I'm going to stir this one, Sheriff. I'm going to stir this one. You know I know what's going on. You know I know what's going on. I'm talking to the sheriff. MBI, Troop F, you know what the hell went down with Jessica Stax. Why one of you grow a set? Attorney General Lynn Fitch got the audacity to say, as it concerns your allegations of law enforcement violating your civil and constitutional rights, we're not interested in even looking at it. No evidence? That is what they said. What they told Dr. Stanwyck as well. This, not one time, but many times. I'm hot. I'm hot. Because we have individuals. These individuals believe that they are the law. And what they're doing in plain sight, what they report on the media, and people are eating it and digesting it, and that's just life. Can that many people be that blind and stupid? Let me tell you, when it hits close to home, and it's your daughter, your son, your mother, or your dad, maybe you'll start picking up what people like me have been putting down for a long time. But a whole bunch of people are not picking up what this old boy's putting down. They say, oh, that guy's crazy. That's just some moronic asshole's opinion. No. You're looking at a true patriot. You're looking at a person that believes in God and country. You're looking at a born-again Christian. You're looking at a person who's read this book from cover to cover more times than I can count. You're looking at a person that serves a risen Savior. I don't go to a fake church. I'm not on the membership roll. I'm on one membership roll, the only one that matters. I'm here today, not because if man had his way, I would have been gone. As soon, just a few months ago, and then after they learned I had COVID, I was recovering from that, they were relentlessly stalking. Law enforcement, looking in windows, knocking on doors on something, on a bogus charge that I've got an attorney, that all that had been, my attorney said, look, you get some rest. I said, what are these people doing that at my house? It took him a week to get them morons off my property. My ass. I've asked for injunctive relief. They continue to obstruct justice. They have no problems with hiding evidence, lying under oath, and obstructing justice. You better understand that. You've got a crime, you've got something that's happened, something that you know about, and you say, well, something's not right here. That's what they do. They do not have a problem with it. They're told this is the narrative right here, and that's not going to change. You change it, guess what? We will make life hell on earth for you. I gotta have a job. You know what, folks? We're gonna be dead a lot longer than we're gonna be alive. That's right. And you know that some of these people call themselves men and women of God, and godly people. Strongly disagree with that. God does not operate in backbiting, lies, slander, cover-ups, anything that destroys another human being. We have a system, a judicial system. It's called due process. Every American has the inalienable right of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Inalienable. That you can't give it, sell it, take it away. That is a non-negotiable. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Today, where is the life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness for Jessica Stax? Where is the life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness for her children, for her family? Where is it now? Are they happy? Are they having a life? Do they have liberty to do and go as they no, because they are bound and imprisoned in a horrible quagmire of grief and unexplained and unanswered problems right here. And in their gut, and I know, because I know. I don't know these people. I don't know the family. But I can tell you this. I feel their pain. I feel their bondage, because this is not adding up. This is not adding up. God will give you peace. God, He sees it. He's not laughing. He doesn't think it's funny. Truth and light will expose this. That's my mission. It has remained my mission and will continue to remain my mission. There's only one truth. It's nailed to Calvary's cross. Christ and Him crucified. With that, as being stalked and hated, and His own people stood before Pontius Pilate, and they had a murderous thief, Barabbas. This man that has committed no crimes. Or do you want me to release Barabbas? They said, give us Barabbas. Give us Barabbas. Those people are still amongst us today, wearing badges in positions of authority, wearing black robes in courtrooms. Say, give us Barabbas. Sure, we believe in the Constitution and all that. Yeah, we'll go to church and sing hymns. That's our dilemma, folks. Got a lot of fake churches. I don't know what they're preaching in these churches now. What they're talking about. They're not talking about the God I'm talking about. There's nothing new. He's the same today, yesterday, and forever. There's no modern upgrade to being a blood-washed, blood-bought, born-again Christian. There is no modern a new age edge to it. We got so many of these churches that put a different spin on it. All these cool things. Well, I'm not there amongst them. And neither is God. So we have a community as a lot of these churches. And there's so many people that are connected to these organized community stalking pervert criminals that absolutely known people that I know for a fact that are responsible for murders are walking these streets because they told on the right people and they work for law enforcement. I'm talking cold-blooded killers, and they know I know who I'm talking. We'll save that for another day if you want to. We'll throw those names out there. Since y'all got such a on a high horse, we got to shut him up. I back up everything I say. I don't think I know something, or I'm just talking about something because I've got an attitude. I back it up in spades, sweetheart, what I'm talking about. So I'll get off my soapbox now. This story, and you can repeat this nationwide. It's happening. Why don't you ask the Department DHS in Mississippi to give you the real numbers of how many children, just in Mississippi, over the last 12 months that are missing, that they have no damn idea where they are, in the thousands. They don't know. And don't come back. How about doing that? Just sitting on your fat ass saying you can't do anything about it. What can I do? You start cutting up and say, hold up a minute. Let's get these people in law enforcement to investigate this. What do you think about a polygraph? Because I've got it. A little birdie told me that you tell a damn lie about the whole thing. No harm, no foul. It's not admissible in court. Bet they won't do it. Boy, bullshit artist out here that, well, I just can't see him tell a lie. Well, your opinion, you can't see him tell a lie. You can't even see your shoes, okay? Pull off from the trough and open your mind a little bit. You know? Hundreds and thousands of men and women have died, bled out in wars to give us our Constitution. And we have people out here talking about it. That is out of the equation. That's fact. Something is very, very rotten. That's fact. Something is very, very rotten. I'll be happy when media will quit contacting. Oh man, they might ought to look online and look at the how deep the shit the sheriff's in and say, well, hold up a minute, he's liable. We might not be getting. But they're going along with it because they have to go along with it. The media is going to go along with it. God, well, they're a fanatic or something. Now, I'm what you call a red-blooded American. Okay, that's what it is. You're the fanatic. I'm the guy that absolutely will be there standing to fight for my country and to fight for our constitutional civil rights for all Americans, and for full transparency in our government and in our law enforcement. And by God, if they are doing something that does not line up with our judicial system, one, and two, it sure doesn't line up with God's word, then friend, they ain't got no business getting a tax dollar and calling shots or doing anything else. Period. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Until next time, subscribe to my channel, share it. You can also become a Patreon if you would like to have a Patreon membership. The details are posted. It's Patreon at United States Anti-Gang Stalking. Until next time, God bless you.
Hello, folks. Richard Moore, United States Anti-Gang Stalking Association. I'm pretty bad. I may have some issues with my life.